right, guys. So let's go ahead and start today in a seated position. You can have the legs crossed. You can prop yourself up on your heels or move into any other seated position that seems nice. Wherever you land, go ahead and let your hands rest palm face down on your thighs. And then maybe slide the hands up the thighs a little bit to draw the shoulders gently toward each other on the back, and then just relax them in place. Bring your awareness to your breath, noticing the rise and fall of the chest. On your next exhale, let's press all of the breath out by drawing the navel in. And then through the nose, inhale fully, bringing the breath all the way down to the diaphragm, filling up the lungs, filling as the skin between the ribs even stretches. And then fill up even through the throat. Open the mouth, exhale. Let's do 2 more cycles of that nice cleansing breath. Last one. Go ahead and let both the inhale and the exhale come through the nose. And from here, we'll inhale the arms out to the sides and up. Fingertips can touch overhead. Exhale, lower the right hand down to the right side. Bend that elbow, reach over the left ear. Anchor that left hip down. Think of reaching out of the crown of the head a little bit here and reaching down with the tailbone. So we're really drawing some length into the spine. And then inhale, find your way through center before exhaling over to the other side. Again, drawing length through the spine even as you bend here. Inhale up through center. Go ahead and grab opposite elbows overhead. Notice that as we grab opposite elbows, as the arms draw back, the ribs want to flare out on the front side of the body. So take a moment to draw low ribs toward hip points. You may feel the navel draw in here. And then we're going to just do some circles of the head. So we can look to the right, lower the chin, come through center, looking toward the left and lift. And then let's just go the other direction. As you arrive to looking to the right and the head lifted, let's go ahead and lower the chin, but keep it to the right. So we're getting some nice length on the back side of the left side of the neck. You might have to play with pulling the arms back a little more. Release through center, give the head a little shake side to side, and then look to the left. This time lengthening on the back side of the right side of the neck. Release through center, give the head a little shake, lift it back up, and let's exhale, release the grip of the hands and twist to the right. Right hand outside of, left hand outside of right knee, right hand to the mat behind you. Again, think of lengthening that spine and then twisting. Inhale, find your way up through center. And exhale, let's go to the other side. Inhale all the way up through center. On an exhale, we're going to rock to a hands and knees position. Take some time to alternately straighten one leg and then the other. restoring flow through the knees if your knees were bent during that seated position. And when you feel ready, we're going to just come back to this neutral position and grip into the mat with the fingertips. Imagine there being a piece of paper beneath your hand, and as you grip with all the fingertips, you draw in toward the center, and the paper crinkles up beneath the palm. All right, maintain that grip, and then let's do some gentle circles. And really notice how far to each side, how far forward you're getting here. Let it be very intentional. Maybe you push the circle wider, maybe you draw it in a little smaller, whatever feels best in the wrists. And then we'll go ahead and switch the direction, maintaining whatever circumference you found that seemed to work for you. Go ahead, find stillness again. And from here, we'll turn the fingertips out to the sides of the mat. Again, grip with all the fingertips and begin to just rock side to side. And let the pace really be dictated by what feels good. I tend to have a default rocking that I go into, and I have to really consciously pull myself out of it to make this more intentional and maybe move my shoulders more or less. And we'll continue this rotation by drawing the fingertips to point straight back toward the legs. Again, grip to the fingertips first, and then rock back and forth. This is a great time also to curl the toes under and work on stretching through the bottoms of the feet a little bit as you rock those hips back. From here, our final positioning will be to keep the fingertips pointed back, but bring the tops of the hands to the mat so that we're stretching the back side of the wrists. You might even draw fingertips toward each other and lift them toward the wrists in what I call tulip hands. It's almost the time of year where we're going to see actual tulips soon, so that's exciting. All right, let's all go ahead and release back to our normal tabletop. And we'll do a couple rounds of cat-cow here, just waking up the spine before we begin to escalate movement. And I really encourage you to find a pace that seems to work best for you. Noting that the pace changes every single day. There might be days where finding some speed here feels good, feels energizing. And there might be days where really slowing feels like what your body could use. Do one more full cycle. Return to neutral. And we're just going to begin to wiggle side to side. So think of drawing right shoulder back, right hip forward, left shoulder back, left hip forward. Just do a couple side to side wiggles here. And then we can either tent the fingers or come onto the fists if your wrists need a break. It's early in class, I know. So don't worry if you want to change that positioning. But we're going to lift this left leg out behind us, toes point down. And we're just going to play with lifting that leg as high as we can and then curling in, knee toward nose. Lifting and straightening, toes stay pointed down, curling in, knee toward nose. Let's do two more. On those curls in, you can really press the mat away and round through the shoulders. Next time the left leg is lifted, we'll go ahead and lower the knee back to the mat, and we'll shift to the other side. So right leg straightens, toes point down, and then bend in, press the mat away with the hands. We can really round through the back. And then create a long line. Round away as the knee comes in. Two more. Next time the right leg is lifted, lower that knee back to the mat. Slide the hands forward a handprint, and we're going to press our way up and back to a downward facing dog. Give yourself some time here to explore. The first down dog of the class can be a little intense. It can be lots of tightness, lots of discomfort. After your next cycle of breath, allow the legs to remain static, and we're just going to play with the torso. So I want you to think of rounding the shoulders, drawing navel and chin in, and then lifting the tailbone, lifting chin, lifting the chest where we're looking to the front edge of the mat. Okay, round in, navel in, chin in, shoulders pull apart. Navel remains in, but the chin reaches forward, shoulders draw together, chin lifts, and we look to the front edge of the mat. All right, let's play with that for just a few more cycles. It's a great way to build some heat in the shoulders, but also to warm up the top half of the spine, which sometimes that's harder to get into than the rest. Go ahead, find your way back to stillness. Look to the hands, soften those knees. Take a really gentle, light hop, even just to the center of the mat, maybe a little more forward than that, whatever feels good. And we're gonna inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale those hands back up. Interlace the fingers. Actually, let's grab opposite elbows the awkward way to balance out what we did. And this time we're gonna side bend from here. So we have a shorter lever on top. Side bend to the right first. Keep drawing the left shoulder back. Try to keep the head neutral. Anchor that tailbone straight down, and there's a little bit of a reach out of the crown of the head to create a long spine here, space between each vertebrae. Inhale up through center, and then exhale to the left. Again, creating some length here in the spine, anchoring the tailbone down, creating a little bit of a reach out of the crown. Inhale up through center. Release the hands and exhale. Soften those knees, fold all the way forward. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, soften. Slide the right foot back, lower that knee as you inhale, chest chin up. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, downward facing dog. Now, just as we did that cat-cow down dog earlier, we're going to begin to do some more full spinal undulations. So on an exhale, come up onto the tippy toes, press the mat away, tuck the chin in, really rock forward all the way to plank. Reestablish once you're in plank, and then bend the knees, lift the tailbone, and let the hips pull you back up. The chin is the last thing to tuck. All right, so tippy toes, roll all the way through, pressing them out away, find plank, bend the knees a little bit, lift the tail, and then let the hips pull you back up. All right, let's do a couple more of those in our own pacing. Exhale on your way forward. Inhale on your way back. The next time that you find your way forward to plank, pause there, Lower the knees, lower the chest and chin, Ashtangasana. And then inhale, pull the heart through, softening those shoulders down, hugging the elbows in. And then exhale back to the mat. Right here, as you're laying on the mat, determine if you want to bend the knees and press up through table, or if you want to tuck the toes under, hug the elbows in, grip into the mat, draw the navel up, and then push all the way up and back. Look forward, and as you look forward, we're going to take another gentle hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise all the way. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, lift those hands back up. From here, we're just going to take a little baby back bend, reaching up and back, anchoring that tailbone down. And then exhale, soften the knees, fold all the way forward. Fingertips on the mat, slide the left foot back, lower that knee. Inhale, chest, chin up. Exhale, step back, downward dog. All right, so here you have an option. You can either hang out in down dog. You can do those pulsations of just the torso in down dog, or you can do those full body spinal undulations. It's totally up to you, whatever feels like it would be best. Movement or stillness, and to what degree. Give yourself 2 breaths to explore with whatever it is you're doing. We'll all meet rocked forward into a plank position. From there, we can lower the knees, chest, and chin. And then inhale, lower the pelvis, pull that heart through. Exhale, lower. Whether by knees or through a push-up, find your way up and back to downward facing dog. Go ahead, look forward, soften those knees. Hop for one final time to the front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale those hands through heart center. We're going to do some really active hip work prior to digging deeper into them. So let's start by shifting the weight into the right foot and really get tall here. Come up onto the toes of the left foot and allow yourself to firm up through the right leg, elongate through the spine, and then lift that knee in line with the left hip. On an exhale, we're going to straighten that leg. Inhale, lower the heel to the mat. Exhale, lift. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Last one. Lift, bend, straighten, bend again. Keep that leg lifted, but we're going to bend into the right knee and go straight to our Uparaga Hamsasana, right, our upward bird. Now we have 2 options here. Option 1 is going to be to lift this leg actively. So fight against gravity here. Draw heel towards sit bone and lift that knee up as much as you can. You can bend into the right leg any amount. We'll keep the chest uplifted, the eyes looking straight ahead. Option 2 is going to be to reach back with the left hand and grab the outside of the left ankle. We might reach back with the right hand too. Totally up to you. And then if you have one or both hands back there, begin to pull the foot in and kick the foot away at the same time. That'll dig deeper into the stretch into the quadricep. Hold here for 2, 1, release. Reach those hands forward, step the left foot back. Inhale the torso up. And then exhale, we're gonna hinge forward, plant those hands. So we have the hands planted, we have our right foot steps forward. We're gonna play with switching the feet. So from here, as you rock forward, I want you to look at the back foot. Check that the toes point straight down. Okay, it doesn't matter how straight the right leg is. We're just pointing the left toes down. Grab onto the ankle of the right foot with the right hand and reach the left fingertips out to the side on tented fingers. From here, hug the torso into this right leg and lift the left leg any amount without it rotating out. Without it rotating out. Hold there for 3, 2, 1. Lower the left toes. We're just gonna crawl the hands to the left foot at the back edge of the mat. Set your feet up as though for a lunge. Lower the right knee to inhale, chest, chin up. And then exhale, straighten both legs any amount, look back. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. One more, inhale, bend. On an exhale, crawl the hands back. Straighten this left leg, maybe slide that heel forward a little bit. Pull the toes back, find your Ardha Hanumanasana, your half split. And for me, I have to consciously pull the left hip back, pull the right hip forward, and then fold the torso forward any amount. You can work on keeping a long spine too. It's really whatever feels better in your body. Hang out here for a few breaths. One more full cycle, inhaling and exhaling. And then on your next inhale, bend into the left leg. Curl the right toes under. And we're actually just gonna crawl back to the right foot at the front edge. Back to the right foot. Okay, so slide the right foot back a little bit, plant the hands again. So we're gonna move into that same thing we did last time where we lift the left leg up, really opening through that left hip for just a moment. And then exhale, lower the left foot behind you, lower the left knee. Inhale, lift the torso. Low lunge. All right, now we have options here. So of course we have the option to keep the arms lifted. Always the option to cactus them out to the sides, adding a little bit more of a back bend. I also want to start introducing the option to reach the fingertips down toward the mat on either side of you, not that they need to touch, deepening the back bend this way. Or if you really want to get into that left quadricep, hinge forward, roll to the top of the left knee and bend that leg up. And then bring right hand to right knee, reach the left hand back and grab the outside edge of that ankle. Now we can stay as upright as we want to here, but I like to flex the toes and kick that foot into the hand while simultaneously pulling it toward my sit bone. Again, option to reach back with the other hand as well. And just maintain that tension. You might notice that your back bend deepens as you maintain that tension, the left leg straightening out any amount. Keep thinking of squeezing anal and urethral sphincters in and up to stabilize through the pelvic girdle. As you're ready, use an inhale to ease out of whatever shape you found. Bring the hands back to the mat. Curl the left toes under, lift that leg up. Slide the right foot back. Plant the hands shoulder distance apart in front of the right foot by about a foot or maybe even 2 feet. So that left leg is lifted, okay? We're gonna rock into the hands while pressing the mat away. You're gonna feel the shoulders come up by your ears. As you rock forward, the right heel lifts and then lowers. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift and press. Exhale, lower. Now, this next couple times, I'm gonna have us take hops off of the right foot. However, that leg is not going to bend. It'll bend a little bit for the hop, but then it'll straighten again. This left leg is gonna keep reaching toward the ceiling. So if you wanna watch what this will look like, feel free to. As we come forward, we'll keep reaching the left leg, bend the right, and then straighten it to hop. All right, so we're just doing some hops. They're really energizing or exhausting, depending on how you look at it, I guess. But just play with it for a few hops. See how light they can get. And then as you're ready, lower the right foot down again. Come up onto tented fingers on the hands. We're gonna reach the left leg out to the side. Straighten that leg, reach out of the heel. Keep opening that hip and step it forward toward the hands. Whew, I don't know about you, but my hips are burning. So from here, we're gonna lower the right heel 90 degrees. Inhale the torso up, warrior two. Warrior two. Left leg is half bent. Arms hover out to the sides. Sometimes it feels good to just circle the shoulders here, to do some waves of the wrists until you find some nice buoyancy. The shoulders are integrated on the back, but it's a gentle integration, not a squeezing. Keep thinking of drawing left knee toward pinky toe. Reach down through the outside edge of the right foot. Draw sit bones toward each other and then bend deeper into the left leg. Maybe go even deeper. Try to feel like the feet are pulling toward each other, that the energy is rising up the legs, through the torso, instead of flowing down into the feet and spreading apart. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, bring those arms all the way up. Exhale, we're gonna cartwheel toward the left foot at the front edge, plant the hands inside of that foot, pivot on the back foot, heel toe the left foot a little bit to the left, and lower the right knee. All right, so we're set up for our lizard pose. And let's all start by allowing the weight to rock to the outside edge of the left foot. That knee can kind of fall out to the side. And we can even press against the knee with the left hand and add a little spinal twist here, opening to the left. Inhale to come back through center. And then we'll set up for a hold in this lizard posture. So we can either have hands planted inside the left foot, heart drawing forward. We can lower toward the forearms here, or we can plant the right palm or forearm, bend the right leg, and open to the left, reaching back with the left hand to catch this right foot. Now we haven't really worked the right leg too much yet, so this stretch might feel a little intense on that thigh and that hip, but it can be a really nice bind nonetheless. Every exhale, let your hips get heavier no matter where you are. Use a breath to gently release that back foot. Bring the hands back inside of the left leg. And from here, we're going to come up onto tented fingers and heel toe this foot to the other side of the mat until we can straighten that leg entirely. All right, so we're doing this adducted pose where we bring the torso forward, try to close the right hip down on top of the left leg. Our legs are at 90 degrees to each other. And then we lower the torso, trying to square it to the mat as well. Keep reaching out of that left heel. Either press the top of the right foot into the mat or curl the toes under, but keep that right knee anchored down. Stay here for 3 more breaths. Every exhale can be an invitation to get heavier into this shape, specifically letting the hips grow heavier. Use an inhale to gently crawl the hands back in. Now curl the right toes under, press into the hands to lift the hips. And we're going to, what do I want to do here? We're going to drag the left heel back in and lift up to a 3-legged down dog. Sorry, sometimes there's so many ideas that come at once, so I'm like, crap, where do I want to go? Okay, lifting into this 3-legged down dog. Let's bend heel to sit bone and do some big circles with that left knee in the air. And then go the other direction. And then from here, we'll lower the left foot down. Finding our down dog once again. And this time, as we take a hop to the front of the mat, we're going to do so with a little more height with a little more height to the hop. So step the feet toward each other and maybe forward a little bit. Rock the shoulders beyond the wrists. And just play with that even, just as you rock forward, pressing the mat away, feeling the shoulders round, the navel draw in, and coming back. The next time you're rocked forward, stare between the hands, bend the knees on an inhale, and then exhale, heel kick the bum. We're going to do that a few times. As you do it, just try to think of landing lightly. Eventually, you'll land so lightly that you won't land at all. You'll just stay in the air. As you feel ready, hop to the front edge of the mat. And we'll inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale those hands to heart center. Take a moment here to just scan through the body. You might even wiggle a little side to side, noticing the difference between the left and the right legs, left and right hips, left and right shoulders. And then as you feel ready, we'll shift the weight into this left foot. Come up onto the toes of the right. Really elongate, firm up through that left leg, create a long, tall spine, and then inhale, the right leg lifts, exhale, straighten. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Inhale, bend, exhale, straighten. All right, 2 more cycles of that, lowering, Lifting, bending, straightening. Last one. Lower, lift, bend, straighten, bend again. Bend into the left knee a bit. Reach the right heel back. Lift that right knee. Find your upward swan pose here. Keep lifting through the right knee, squeezing that right heel in. Maybe reach back with the right hand to grab the outside of that right ankle, thumb pointing down. Maybe reach back with the left. If you have one or both hands back there, begin to pull the foot and kick the foot simultaneously. Go ahead and lower that right foot down. Lower the fingertips to the mat. We're gonna crawl all the way to the right foot at the back edge. Nope, we're not. We're crawling back to the left foot at the front, sorry. I forgot about this. Slide the left foot more to the middle of the mat. Plant the hands for now. Lift the right foot, toes point down, knee points down. From here, crawl the right hand on tented fingers out to the right, and then grab the ankle with the left hand. And really lift that right leg any amount, keeping the toes pointed down. Let the torso lower any amount. Lower the right foot behind you. And from here, crawl to that foot. Lower the left knee to inhale, chest, chin up. Exhale, straighten both legs any amount, look back. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. And then from here, set up for your half split. Slide that right heel forward. Pull the toes back, right hip back, left hip forward. And either soften the spine or keep it elongated. But either way, let the torso be heavy. Always, every exhale is an opportunity to get a little heavier in each shape. To settle deeper into it. One more breath. On an inhale, we're going to bend back into this right leg. Curl the left toes under. And from here, shoot guys, I'm struggling. From here, I think we went all the way back to the front of the mat. Yep, okay, I remembered it now. Left little breadcrumbs, but I lost them for a second. All right, all the way back to the front edge of the mat. We're gonna enter for a second time into that standing split. Okay, so right leg lifts, knee points down, and this time we plant the hands and really pull the torso down before exhaling to lower that knee to the mat. That's our second time there. We'll find a third time there right after this. But first we find our low lunge. Left hand to left knee. Right arm can lift. Both arms can lift. Arms can cactus. Whatever feels right in your body. Again, we do have the option, if you want to deepen the back bend, to reach the hands down, imagining that the fingers are going to touch the mat on either side of you. Just keep the navel drawn in as you do that. We also have the option to hinge forward and bend the right knee, Bringing left hand to left knee, right hand to the outside of the right ankle. I always have to consciously draw my navel in again here, and then kick foot into hand. Maybe reach the left hand back as well. We're here for a few breaths, so really soak it in. Use an inhale to gently lift out of wherever you are. Plant the hands, curl the right toes under, lift that knee. Slide the left foot back. And this is our final time in this lifted half split. Okay, so right toes and knee point down. The hands are planted a foot to 2 feet in front of my left foot. And as we rock forward, we're gonna lift the left heel and lower. Exhale, forward, lift and lower. Lift and lower. So now we're gonna add in those straight-legged hops, where we bend the left leg to hop, but then the right leg keeps reaching up. Feel that glute contract, and the left leg straightens and jumps up off the mat too. Can help to have really powerful exhales as you do it. Last one. From here, reach the right leg out to the right side. Really pull out of that heel. Kick, kick, kick. And then step the right foot down by the hands at the front edge of the mat. Bring the left foot back. Lower the heel 90 degrees. And inhale up. Warrior two. Warrior two. Always take time to set up, moving through any cues that help you. Any movement that helps you settle in. Again, remember, right knee reaches out, sit bones draw toward each other. Anal and urethral sphincters pull in and up. And then we sink deeper into this right leg. It's those sit bones drawing toward each other, and actually the heads of the femurs even pulling into their sockets, that allows for this to feel like a pose with some lightness in it, as opposed to feel like we're just sinking into the mat. Maybe go a little deeper into that right leg. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down inside of the right foot. Pivot that back foot. Heel toe the right foot out to the side a little bit and lower the left knee. From here, we'll keep the left hand planted. We'll all roll to the outer edge of the right foot and press the right hand into the right knee and really press away from the mat with the left hand to invite a nice twist here. Inhale to come back through center and set up for your more traditional lizard pose. Whether hands are planted, forearms are planted, or maybe you plant either the left hand or left forearm, bend the left leg and reach back with the right hand to bind it. Every exhale, let those hips get a little bit heavier. Let gravity help you here. Inhale to gently unwind. Unwind. Come back to the tented fingers at the front edge of the mat and heel toe the right foot across the mat until you can kick that leg straight. And I have to lower down onto my outer right hip to do this part. So my left leg is extended straight. My right leg is extended straight, 90 degrees. Flex the right toes back, reach out of that heel, press either into the top of the left foot or curl the toes under and press into them. And then try to lower the torso down over in this like square to the mat. Think of the left hip reaching down as though it's going to close down on top of the right leg, as though that left hip bone could actually come so far as to touch the right thigh. I don't actually think that's physically possible, but that's kind of the engagement we're going for here. Every exhale, get heavier. One more breath. And then use an inhale to lift the torso up, crawl those hands in, curl the left toes under, really press into the hands to lift the hips, and then reach this right leg back and up. Bend the knee, open the hip, and draw some big circles with that knee in the air. And then the other direction. Lower that foot down. All right, from here, we'll lift the left leg up. And on an exhale, we're just gonna bring it through to pigeon. All right, bring it through to pigeon. Reach the right leg back. Check that the top of the foot is pressed into the mat and that the toes point straight back. Don't worry about the angle of the front shin. Worry about the levelness and squareness of the hips. You can always prop up the left hip. From there, deepening the pose will look like opening the angle of the front shin. So if you're like, man, I've done pigeon enough now that I need to deepen it, that's what you can think of doing, is sliding the heel further away from the body. From here, you might enjoy staying upright. Maybe that feels nice in the body right now. Or you can begin to crawl the torso forward. And again, keep the shoulders square as you hinge forward. You can always pull against the mat and think of reaching the heart forward. That's a great way to deepen the sensation here as well. As with any stretch, isometric movement within it not only stabilizes and creates more safety within it, but it also leads to more depth. So you can think of in pigeon dragging the left knee back and the right knee forward. You'll feel that little engagement there. Always listen to your body before you listen to me. So if that doesn't feel good for you, then maybe you don't do it. But if it feels okay, then you might try to hold that small engagement even while softening the hips, even while softening the torso. Use an inhale to lift the torso up. From here, we can roll to the outer edge of the left hip, and we're gonna roll all the way to face the back leg. So you can let the knees bend, let the heels kind of roll on the mat as you do that. And then we're gonna bring the left knee in, hugging that ankle toward the outside of the left hip. Bring the top of the foot to the mat. Now, always, if this is too intense on the knee, increasing the angle will help. Even if you increase it 90 degrees, that's totally fine. Bend the right knee, planting that foot. And then from here, hinge back any amount that feels okay. Propping yourself up, maybe lying fully on your back. If you can lie fully on the back, lift the hips and tuck the tail, and then lower back down. Ultimately, we want the left knee still reaching toward the mat. We don't often do internal rotation in a class. It's not one of our staples anyway. It's not a range of motion we often do in the natural world either. So it's a subtler one than a lot of the other ranges of motion we explore. But man, it's a good one. One more inhale and exhale. And then use an inhale to lift you up. I like to plant my elbows and press into them to lift my torso if you're all the way reclined. And from here, we're actually going to enter into pigeon on the back edge of the mat. So this time we have the right leg in pigeon. We can hinge forward, kick the left leg out behind us, bring the top of the foot to the mat, check that it's pointed straight. Square the hips, level the hips. Again, option to stay lifted here or to crawl forward, lowering the torso over the front leg. If you pulled against the mat last time to draw the torso more forward, do that again this time. And if you added that isometric engagement of left knee forward, right knee back, well, I guess it would have been opposite, but if you drew the knees in toward each other last time, do that again on this side. But again, soften everywhere else. Soften through the hips, even as you draw those legs in. Soften through the torso. Two more breaths. Inhale to lift this torso up. Roll to the outer edge of the right hip. Let the knees bend. Let everything kind of move with you as you rotate to face the front edge of the mat. And then from here, we'll draw the right knee straight ahead. That right leg tucked in at the side as close as feels okay. Plant the left foot, knee towards ceiling, and then hinge back any amount. Again, if you can recline all the way, lift the hips and tuck the tail, and then lower the hips. Keep the right knee drawn toward the mat. And allow yourself to simply sink into the shape while it's here. This is our half hero pose. One more breath. And then begin to work your way out of this. in whatever way feels okay. And then swing both legs ahead of you. Let's give them a good shake, a good wiggle. And I'm going to invite you to close class today seated. If you would like to recline, you are entirely welcome to. So please do whatever seems best in your body. Seated shape, we can do Sukhasana, which is that the legs are crossed. There's not a leg on top of another leg, they're just crossed, and you can always experiment with which one feels best in front. You can also do half lotus if you'd rather, which is where we would bring the top of one foot to the opposite hip crease. Sometimes people like sitting like that. And in the same way we started practice, we're going to simply take a couple breaths to check in with the body. As you allow the energies of the body to settle in this moment of stillness, you have an opportunity also to maybe send yourself a little note of gratitude for having shown up, having nourished your body, having responded to it throughout class by making adjustments. Tonight, as we close, I'm going to close with an Om and 3 Shantis. Om is simply the sound of the universe. It's thought of as that vibrational tone that exists within everything, that frequency that runs through everything. And in saying Om, it's simply a recognition of interconnectedness. 3 Shantis, each Shanti means peace, but saying 3 in a row means peace in 3 ways. So the first Shanti is, might there be peace within me. The second Shanti is, might there be peace within the community, within the interactions I have with others. And that third Shanti is, might there be peace beyond my immediate surroundings, peace for all beings everywhere. So if you feel compelled to join, please do so. You are watching this online, and so you're in the safety of your own house, so you don't have to worry about high sound, which is kind of nice. If you don't want to join, that is completely fine too. We'll all inhale the arms out to the sides and up, and then exhale those hands through heart center. From here, if you do want to join, exhale all the breath from the lungs. Inhale fully for an Om and 3 Shantis. Inhale for 3 Shantis. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Might the peace we cultivate here on the mat ripple outward from us into all that we do. Namaste.